Hey everybody, here we are in Orgagna parking lot, the mecca of aerobatics flying, and I'm here with last year's Acro Game champion Théo de Blic. And I came back to Orgagna like after 3 years of not being here, and looking at these guys training I feel like a complete beginner again. So basically the combinations these guys are practicing are just so cutting edge and highest top level stuff that basically every day something new is coming out. Somebody does something new like Raul yesterday, and then immediately the other guys just do the same, try to repeat, and it's pretty fun. So in the Acro game the guys will be battling against each other. One pilot will set a trick, so he's gonna perform one maneuver and the other guy needs to repeat that exact maneuver, and whoever does it better has a good point. So actually whoever does a little mistake or does it worse gets a letter. And anyway, we're gonna talk about this later on. So now I actually want to ask Theo, how does he feel about this comp and how are you training for it?
Well, the comp is obviously one of the best we have, actually, because it's really like totally freestyle. We do whatever we want, we can express ourselves fully, so it's really fun. And it's in Orgagna, which is always, it's the best place for acro flying, so it always feels special.
Awesome.
To be there. And for the training it's a bit difficult because you have to be really open-minded, you know, because everything can happen, everything is possible, and everyone can do whatever they think is possible or whatever they think they can do. So you have to train everything you think is possible. There is so many possibilities. You have to try everything and see if this is working or not. So you have to always try everything there is.
I saw you guys doing some runs yesterday, and I was watching you and Ondra, and these guys were throwing down some of the most insane combos I ever seen, or I never seen before. And everything connected one after the other, like kind of like what I saw from Andre. It was looking like completely improvised. Are you training like kind of similar way, just, you know, do what you feel like doing right now, or do you have a plan to just focus on one maneuver and do repetitions?
It depends, actually. I do both because focusing is quite boring sometimes, but you need to, obviously, to master the tricks you need to focus. But most of the time I go in the box and I know my first two tricks, but then after I let just the flow going and I do what I want on the moment.
So what are your most like skilled tricks right now? Like
it's difficult to say because it's different from so many pilots, obviously. But for me, yeah, I think twisted misty tumbling is still a bit difficult sometimes. But it's not the most technical. It's just because it's really new. We are not so confident yet. But a lot of stuff like the twisted cork reverse is a bit technical, and the twisted joker is still technical because sometimes you don't know why, but it doesn't work.
So just for everybody to understand, so please, what is a actually twisted cork reverse?
Can
you explain that in a compact way?
Right now. Everything is really difficult, but twisted cork reverse is actually a cork that you perform, and when you fell down on the glider, instead of going in helico to the same side, you go to the other side. So if you do a cork to the right, you end up in an helico to the left, and obviously you do it twisted.
So reverse is when you do the helico to the opposite side of the rotation. And this is now becoming quite common, actually.
Yeah, it's quite common because it adds some technicality to the sport. And the principle of acro game is that it has to be beautiful, obviously, but it has mostly to be technical. So if a trick is not mind-blowing, if it's really technical, you can still put a letter to your opponent because he could not perform it.
Okay.
So it's one of the keys. So that's why we practice a lot for the acro game because it makes it very technical and a lot harder to perform.
And so it looks like still every day there is something new coming up, and new ideas. At least ideas for sure are born, and some of real new combos as well. So what do you think? How long it's gonna be possible to just separate all these and name them and, you know, treat them as like an individual unique combo, or one or if it's gonna become like just one style, or
Well,
you know what I mean?
yeah, it's a bit it's a difficult question because actually I think in paragliding we are quite lucky. We have I have the
Not
feeling
so
that we have an
many.
unlimited amount of possibilities because we are totally in 3D and right, left, twisted, not twisted. Everything is really open right now, but it's difficult to really do something really new, like a new trick, because actually we have, I mean, all the move we have somehow performed. So you need to add some little variation to it. So it's more variation than something new. But in terms of variation, you are totally unlimited. You can go to reverse helico, to reverse sat, to tumbling, you can perform what you want. So it will stop someday. But I think we are far from stopping to add variation to the tricks.
All right, yeah. And regarding your equipment, now you fly a 14 agility from Gradient. So I tried a 12 square meter back in the days from U-turn. That was quite interesting, but maybe a little too small. And I can imagine that 14 is a very interesting size and very challenging, but once you get it, it could be like the super machine. So is it what's happening right now? Like, are we downsizing again?
I don't know if we are really downsizing because it has to be possible with the glider. It has to be possible with the gliders. So actually the agility is flying really well. So downsizing was possible mostly because it has a really good glide.
Okay.
So I still could climb everywhere. But it's true that it's really challenging to fly, particularly when you start messing up with the tricks. You know, I think that's what you felt with the 12. As soon as it's working out, it's quite okay. But as soon as you kind of fuck up something, then it gets really difficult.
All right, but probably we will see a downsizing tendency in the very top level, as long as the gliders are able to have a good glide ratio and still arrive in the box high enough. That's probably the way to go.
Maybe it's not the way to go because we don't really need it, but it's so much more fun to fly.
That's what I mean. For the top level, it will be.
We need this extra fun because it makes it so much more interesting.
And especially for flying in Orgagna, for example, because if it's about a real like FIE comp, and you have to be in the box as high as possible, then it's not really good. But if it's more for fun, or if the height doesn't really matter, like here you can burn as much as you want.
Yeah, you can burn. And anyway, actually 14 is still in a acceptable limit because I don't arrive so low, and it's quite okay actually.
Okay, last question. I would understand if you don't want to, but can you give us some hints? What will be your favorite maneuvers to challenge your opponents in the Acro game?
It's difficult. I have a lot of ideas, but I plan a lot on some combo tricks, like performing two tricks together.
Okay.
Like, for example, you can do a sat and a Mac twist in the exit, but going from there, you can go a sat and a joker with the same side, everything twisted, or you can do a looping twisted to a Mac twist on the other side twisted also. So going there, you can really make your opponent in a difficult position.
Alright, then good luck, Théo.
Thanks, pal.
See you later in the air.
Yeah.
Let's hope it's gonna turn on. We have some cloud shadow slowing down the thermals, but we'll be on soon. Raúl Rodríguez and Tima Longi.
Oh, el battle, vamos al battle, tío. Te vas a enterar.
Orgagna lifestyle.
Waiting for fly.